This tutorial will cover managing your country. It will include production, convoys, and the war panel. First, we will take a look at the production menu item. Important country information is color-coded throughout the game. Production is in brown, oil in blue, and manpower in purple, for example. In the upper left corner lists the country's production and capacity of different resources. Production, oil, manpower, and specialty production are all created each turn. The economy multiple above production increases your production amount by that number each turn. As the game progresses, this number increases, representing the beginning of industry for war. Resources come from resources with brown numbered circles. Owned and trade resources produce at full value. Captured resources are furthered in value. The total of this is added together and increased by the economic multiple. There is no limit on the amount of production points a player can store. Urban hexes with production also generate morale. Green circle urban hexes only generate morale and no production. If a country's morale starts dropping, so does their manpower production. Strategic resources represent important natural materials that influence the effectiveness of production. There are several strategic resources in the game a player can capture. Each one a player controls increases their production by 1%. These represent agriculture to feed workers, coal to power generators, and bauxite for planes and so on. Oil resources are always given at their full value to the player who controls them. They come in two types: oil fields and synthetic oil plants. Oil resources can be stored up to the country's oil silo capacity. The amount of oil silos a country has is equal to 200 plus production plus oil times the economic multiple. Let's move to the other items on the left column. Logistics tell you how many units you can field and supply. Each unit has their own logistics cost. Generally, the more expensive the unit is, the more logistics it uses per strength point. For example, an armored corps uses twice the logistics per strength point as an infantry corps. Logistics also have a small impact on supply. The lower the logistics used for a country, the more likely a unit will get a supply bonus. Shipyards are logistics for building naval groups. While logistics are required for keeping a unit in play, shipyards are required to build them. A naval or naval support unit's logistical value is also the shipyard's cost. Once a unit is built, those shipyards are again available for other units to be built. Specialty production is based on the resources production of that country. Once a player accrues 100 specialty points, they can assign a specialty to a land unit. A player can choose specialties like engineer, winter combat, heavy artillery, and a few others. The upkeep column shows how much production and oil was used to repair, upgrade, and maintain units in play. How much they have left of accumulated resource for production, oil, manpower, and specialty points. For oil and manpower, it shows how close they are to maximum capacity for that resources as a percentage. Manpower also has a low stockpile penalty. When stockpiled manpower is below 50% of maximum, it will change to a yellow color. The lower the manpower is from 50%, the less experienced new units and reinforcements will have. Logistics shows how much logistics a country has left to build out their army. Shipyard shows how many are available to use. Specialty points shows the total current amount. Top side is the support pool. This shows all support units and how many are in use. Merchant Marine are normally lime in color when a player has enough of them to transport resources. If it is a red number, they are lacking enough Merchant Marine to transport resources. The bottom half of the screen is dedicated to production of military units. A player can select the branch of the military by selecting one of the tabs. Within each branch, a player can select the unit type of that branch, the unit name, the advancement, and the advancement year for the new unit. A player can also create custom name for the unit if they want. The purchase box tells you all the costs. If the purchase button is red, it means you lack a resource to build this unit. To the right side of the unit creation box shows the attribute details of a unit currently selected. Support units might use logistics, shipyards, or manpower in addition to production to build. In this tab, a player can examine each unit for its purpose and costs. Purchasing them is like purchasing any other military unit. Now, let's take a look at the convoy system. And escort, there are two sets of country selectors. The one on the left is the country you are working with. The one on the right is a potential trade partner. Each country shows how much production, oil, and merchant marine they currently have stored. The selected trading country can give a maximum of 25% of their stockpile production and oil to another country. Only non-neutral countries in a player's alliance may give resources. The bottom left shows all the convoys currently active. Hovering over the left symbol will tell you what the convoy is. A green arrow is import, and a red arrow is an export. A player can easily tell what resources have been shipped, but not only the column icon, but the resource color. Any trade created can be cancelled by pressing the X. Trades are scripted and part of a scenario can't be cancelled until certain scripted events happen. For example, the Soviet Union gives Germany resources at the start of the 1939 scenario. This trade isn't cancelled until they are at war. This toggle places either supply or resource convoys at the top of the list. The green arrow takes you to the supply convoy destination. On the right side box, a player can see all the convoy routes, the number of unassigned escorts, and where they have convoys protected and escorts assigned. Using the arrows, a player can assign escorts to a route. When a blue number appears next to the assigned escorts amount, it means an ally also has escorts in that route. 10 is the maximum protection a convoy can get. All escorts in a convoy route protected versus submarine fleets in that route. We have diplomacy turned on. Each country has an influence power level, which is how strong they are politically to influence others and resist being influenced by others. Each country generates influence points to manipulate other countries, with a maximum of 5 influence points able to be stored at any one time. The star shows how many victory points the country has. These are numbers for major and minor victory points. Countries win the game by having at least one of their major power alliance members survive till the end of the game and accumulate enough victory points to hit a minor or major victory. If all the countries of an alliance surrender, they automatically lose the game. The bottom half of the screen shows how the selected country's political situation is with all other countries. Clicking on their flag will take you to their capital. The left column tells you which countries you are at peace and at war with. The alliance column tells you how close a country is to joining an alliance. Grey value means the country is still neutral but favoured in that alliance. White values mean they have joined that alliance. The morale column tells you how they surrender. Countries like the UK and USA never surrender. Italy and France have 2 morale values. The left white value is their full morale value. The right yellow number is the morale value a country has to be lowered to, so a player can light up the negotiate surrender button. Taking urban hexes with production and morale lowers a country's morale. Germany has a single morale number and must be completely conquered for it to be forced to surrender. The influence column is the country's influence level. The 4 buttons on the right are to declare war, influence, intimidate, and negotiate surrender. A country may declare war only when they are part of an alliance. If diplomacy is enabled, a player may influence or intimidate other countries. Influence means a slight nudge to their alliance and is an easy, safe play. The closer a country is to your alliance, the easier it is to influence. Intimidating a country has a small chance of success, with a success or failure given a large shift for the target country. Intimidation is represented as an indirect threat to invade the target country, interference with their political system, or attempting a coup. Most countries change their status based on actions as the game progresses. These changes are noted in the scenario notes at the start of the game in the first turn report.